Welcome to Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian, your main complexity casual gamer.
I'm Stacey, I'm your non-gamer gamer.
And this is take two because we realized our microphone was off. So, yeah. All right. So we're starting this on over. Okay. So welcome to the Five and Dime. And this is our weekly recommendation show. And so this is our 15 game recommendations from the year 2021. In this one, I will be giving you 5 solo game or games that I play solo only, and 5 games that I play multiplayer and possibly solo as well. And each one of those lists will be ranked in order from uh, lowest ranked on BGA to highest ranked on BGA.
And these are going to be some of my favorite recommendations from 2021. And as always, they are going to be in alphabetical order for my 5 and dime, yes. Which I'm the 5.
Yeah. So Stacey gives 5 and I give a dime or 10 of them. So my first one is my first solo game, and this is a small 18 card game by Button Shy Games, and this is called Unsurmountable. And recently, when I did my rank the collection, this was, if I remember correctly, my number 2 game, Button Shy game. I really like this one. In Unsurmountable, the ultimate goal is to go from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. The way this happens is you have a base camp of cards that is 5 cards long, which can be changed for different difficulty levels. And what you're doing is you can only place the card that is the furthest left in your base camp into your mountain. This picture is the final result of a game, so you can't see the base camp. But normally you would have a base camp of 5 cards. You can play the far left card and only the far left card into your mountain, starting on the bottom and working your way up. When you place them, you can place them. The first one can be placed anywhere in the bottom. Every other one must be connected to that either. Well, the next one needs to be connected left or right. The next one could go on top, but anytime you stack, you always have to have 2 cards below it. And then the other 4 cards in your base camp can be used for those abilities. So in the middle of each card, there's some different abilities that allow you to do some different things. It may allow you to reshuffle the cards in the base camp. It may allow you to take a card out of the mountain and switch it with a card in the base camp. It may even allow you to completely flip your card in the mountain around so that the paths are different ways. Ultimately, what you want to do is you want to make a continuous path from the bottom all the way to the top, card making its way out of to the top of the mountain. And I really like this game because it really makes you think as to, like, do I want to use an ability? Can I put a card here? Am I gonna, like, you start limiting what you can do by what you play. So if you look at the card in the second row on the far right, that card is not connected to anything. That was placed there just so they could put something up top. They probably had a good plan to get to the top with the other cards, so they were just placing some cards in. Sometimes you can get yourself stuck though, and you're like, oh, what do I need to do here to make sure that I can to move things? Because not all of the cards have paths coming from the bottom. Not all the cards have paths coming from the top. So you need to really be able to put them in the right spot. So if you have a card that only has one path going up on it, you can't place that somewhere where that path is going to go into a spot that's not going to go on the far left or the far right, because you aren't going to be able to place anything else there to connect it. So I really like this game. I do have one of the expansions, I believe it is, and it adds some different ways to play. So you can make like 2 peaks on it. It adds some different like oxygen things or something. So yeah, I really like this one. It is a lot of fun. That is Unsurmountable. And my next one is a dice drafting game, and this comes to us from Arcus Games, and this is Shelfie Stacker. In Shelfie Stacker, you are filling up your collax. So each player is going to have a 5x5 collax, and you are drafting dice to put into them off of these little packages as you are getting your board games in that are being delivered to you on these boxes. And what you're doing is you have to place them from the smallest number aka the biggest box, to the biggest number or the smallest boxes, because each one of those dice you can see has shapes on them, and those represent different size board games. So the bigger ones are going to go on the bottom, the smaller ones are going to go on the top as far as sizes. Each player will take 8 cards that are character cards that have different personalities, board game personalities, and different gaming types. And you will choose which 8 you are going to use that game. Some of them may allow you to add or subtract a number from the dice. Some of them may allow you to lift all of your stack to put a different one in, because once you put a dice in, it is in that spot and you have to stack on top. I know there's one that allows you to like take a dice out and put it on it and save it for later. You can put one onto the box so you can stack stuff differently. So it's a lot of fun. Then there's some bonuses at the end. The first person to get a certain pattern gets some points. The person who has the most of a certain color gets points. And then there's one other bonus, which I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And then if you can get all the way to the top of a column, you get 6 points. If you get 4 of them filled, you get 3 points, I believe it is. And if you get 3 of them filled, you get 1 point. I just really like this game. It's a lot of fun. It's you grab dice, and it's really, you don't actually roll the dice. You grab them out of the bag and you set them down. So you just set them where they are. I think one of the character cards does allow you to actually re-roll a dice or place it on whatever side you want. It's a very light game. It's fun. We like playing this one together. Yeah, so that is Shelfie Stacker by Arcus Games.
And my first game is 60-Second City, which I have a very tough time saying for some reason. And this game is by Buffalo Games. This plays 1 to 2 players. And is what you are doing is the board that you see is your town, and you're trying to build your town. You have your town center in the middle, and you are trying to, you have to start at the town center and build around it. You have different goal cards that you are trying to reach, and which are down at the bottom. And if you can get 5 cards or 5 rounds within the 60 seconds, then you win. You are trying to avoid pollution in your city. You are playing both of you together at one time. So this is a cooperative, communicative game where it's just chaos for 60 seconds.
Real time, 60 seconds. Yes. 5 rounds of 60 seconds.
So you set your timer for 60 seconds, and all of your tiles will be face down. And you're both reaching into your tiles, looking at them, and trying to get the goals that you have listed at the bottom of the board. The triangles are hazards. You can't place anything there. There's some cards that will tell you that you can't place them next to a hazard. There's some that tell you you have to place them by a park and a hazard. There's some that tell you you can only put them on the border, but you have to start at the middle and work out, and you have to place your tile next to another tile. So this is kind of a thinky game. If you can think really quick, then you can probably do pretty well at this game. Me, I don't think very quick, and but it depends on what it is really. But I struggle to get the tile, look at it, and try and figure out where it needs to go. Well, he's just like, and he usually places more tiles than, well, does place more tiles than I do. But this is one of those games where you either win together or you lose together. As long as you can complete the 5 rounds in the time limit of each one, you win. And that's,
well, you have to complete all the cards within 5 rounds.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to complete all of your goals.
Yes.
Within that time limit.
Yeah.
So,
it's pure chaos because you're grabbing cards. You're like, okay, we usually try to make a plan. Like, okay, we need this over here, so you work on and I'll work on this, and then you can put stuff away, and you're trying to make different shapes. To get rid of the hazards, there's some cards that have spaces, and if you surround it within that pattern, you get to get rid of the hazards. You add new hazards every round, so you do want to try and get rid of some of them. Otherwise, you end up with a lot of spaces that you can't build on, and it makes things even harder.
Yes.
That is fun, pure chaos.
I like it. I don't like letting Ian down and losing, though, because it's usually my fault that we lose. It's a game. Life goes on.
Yep. All right. My next one is another button shy game. And this was my number one button shy game on my recent ranked collection. And this is Robe. Results oriented versatile equipment, I think is what it means. Yeah, so in Rove, you have these modules here in the middle of the screen, and you start by putting them in a 2x3 grid, so three across, two up and down. And you have a card up top that is telling you to get them in a certain order. And then in the upper right, you can see there are cards um, that have numbers on them, and those are the number of movements you can do. And each one of the module cards can move in certain ways. Some of them can move over anything in any direction. Some of them can only move horizontally, vertically, and up and down. Some of them move and they will push other cards and they'll push everything in its way. Some of them have to jump over other things. Some of them can only move it at diagonal. So they move in different ways, and your goal is to get 7 of these cards that show the configurations by the end of your round. If you have your modules in the exact configuration that are on the number card, you actually get to use the bigger number and you get that many moves, which really helps you. So you can see which cards you have that you want to play. So sometimes you want to try and get stuff so set up so that you can get a lot of moves. After you move a card, it kind of goes to the side, and then you always draw one card back. So if you've used a lot of cards in order to move your modules, you aren't going to get as many back, and so you're going to have fewer in your game. Um, I do have a couple modules for this. I've played some of them. I have not played all of them, so I'm excited to get those to the table. That is Rove. Our next one is one that I've only played multiplayer. I am interested to see how the solo works, and I'm also interested in seeing how some of the other little modules in it or the other ways to play. And this is a push your luck game with very clear cards, and this is called Dive. And this one, we watched a well, last year we started getting into push your luck games, and last December, I think during the Winter Spectacular, the Dice Tower did a top 10 push your luck games. And of the ones that we had not played, this was really the only one at the time that kind of caught our eye as this is really unique. So I looked into it, we ended up getting it, and this is just an amazing game. So what you have here is this is a programming game. So each one of those player screens is hiding your program. What your program is, you're programming your divers to how far down they're going to go in this middle ocean. These are clear cards that have different things drawn on them. Some of them also have cutouts in them. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to program how far down you're going to go and whether or not there is a shark or not on the card that you are going to go through. Now, this might sound easy, but it is not because you can't tell if a certain symbol is on the third or the fourth one. And then when you start getting holes, you're like, where are those holes overlapping? Is that hole in the second card? Is it in the fourth one down? Is it in the third one down? So it is really interesting. And what you do is when you once you've programmed your diver, everybody reveals and you go card by card, or I don't know, laminated sheet by laminated sheet, whatever it is, in the middle. And you look at the first one, and if you had no shark and there's no shark, you're good. You keep on going. If there's a shark and you say the shark, you keep diving. If you're wrong, then you're done. Your dive is done because you were wrong. You're also trying to collect some crabs and some other things to get you some points. Basically, what you're trying to do is over here on the right side, you can see there's some little diver meeples on the scoreboard. You are trying to get down as far as you can to get the treasure first. This is just a very unique game in the fact that you're programming your dives blindly, and then you're all diving at the same time. But I think what makes this really interesting is the holes that get in there because you're like, I don't know where that hole is and how many holes there are, and so it becomes really fun. And this is just a really fun push your luck game because you're like, I think I can go 4 because you're trying to look at it from all different angles. You're looking at it from the side. You're looking at it from the top. You're like, yeah, that shark is definitely on the third one, and that's the only shark I can see. So, yeah, I can go 4. I know I can go 4, and you can put more than one programming token on each one, and they have numbers on them. So uh, whoever has the highest number on it gets the reward that's on it. I believe it was. We haven't played it for a little while, but talking about it makes me want to get it back out. That is Dive by Sit Down Games.
And you're also looking for manta rays, aren't you?
Think so.
Is
Yeah,
it
there's
sharks and
crabs and
manta
there's
rays
crabs,
and
manta rays, and sharks.
I
And
believe
and
so.
what those do is those allow you to move. So like the manta ray, I believe when you get one of those, there's like 2 different colored manta rays and
I
one
think
colored
so.
crab. So the manta ray, I think they allow you to catch up to the person in first place. And then the crabs, I think you're allowed to move 1 or 2 spaces. I think it was. Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. And there's a couple little things in there. They also said that you can play with a flashlight underneath, so you're looking at it, so it's like lit up from below, which sounds really interesting. And we want to definitely try
Play
that
in the dark.
with our phone. Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Ooh.
But that is Dive by Sit Down Games.
And my next recommendation is one that I just recently learned not too long ago, and that is Juicy Fruits by Capstone Games. In Juicy Fruits, you each player has their own little island that you can see there, and you are trying to grow fruit, and you are trying to earn the most points by supplying the ships around your island, and trying to buy businesses to go on your island as well. Your turn includes tokens that you can move your fruit around. So you can either move it horizontally or vertically, but the fruit ships are in your way so that you have a limited number of spaces that you can move your fruit. Once you fulfill an order and supply that ship, the ship, then you get your points for your ship, and then that allows you more space for you to move your fruit around. So if you try and fulfill your ships first, um, to get more space, that can come back to bite you because somebody else is getting the businesses. So you have to kind of organize or kind of think ahead of how you're going to play this particular game, because either you can go for the ships to fulfill the orders or you can get businesses, um, and then with those businesses that can actually earn you more points as well. And then the fruits that you're collecting, you have bananas, oranges, limes, pomegranates,
And plums.
and well, they're calling it a mangosteen.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, I
We
thought it
call
was.
them plums,
I don't know. They
but
look like a plum. I don't know.
I don't know
I
what
guess we
I'm.
didn't actually look at what the name of it
No,
was.
no.
Oh, okay, a magazine.
Yeah, magazine. I've never had one of those before, but it sounds delicious. But if you concentrate too much on the ships, the best businesses may be taken away by another player, and so the sooner the businesses are gone, the quicker the game might end. So you have a couple different things that you need to figure out as you're playing this. Um, and you have to be efficient on how you do what you're trying to do with fulfilling the fruit, moving them around, and cleaning businesses. It also includes on the other side of the board. It also includes the Juice Factory version, which we just played as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has a solo mode, and it's got a couple modes on there that you can play as well, where you are getting points. You're moving through the juice factory, but you have to use your tokens and your fruit in order to move through the factory. And then I believe the first person to get, or the first two to get to the end also ends the game, besides the
Well,
businesses being gone.
when you get so in on the right board in the middle there is different businesses. There's different business people that will take fruit bribes, and it'll help you improve your island that you are growing your fruit on. And when you take one of those, you are moving the contract tile or contract token down. Basically, it's your countdown. You start with, in a 2-player game, it's 7 rounds. So in the juice factory, which is the board that we're actually showing on this. On the far right, the first 2 people, if you get all the way to the end and you make that much juice, there are two spots there where it will move the timer down one spot. So there's a couple different ways that the timer moves down a spot. That is two of the ways, is if you
Yeah.
get all the way to the end of the juice factory.
But I like this game. This is a fun game. It gets me hungry because I love fruit.
Mm,
And the little tokens that they have for the fruit pieces remind me of box of runts.
yes.
So if you like
Yes.
runts,
Yeah.
this game's for you.
There you go. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We should get some runs this weekend.
Ooh, that sounds
Just
good.
just because.
I like the banana and the strawberries.
I like the banana. Banana's my favorite.
You just get a box of bananas.
Ooh.
Do they have such a thing?
I don't know. They might. They probably do. At some point they probably did.
Hmm.
All
Try
right.
it.
Moving on to my next solo game. And I will tell you my next three. This year's solo selection for me was a lot of Button Shy and Verban Rights. And this is actually my number one Verban Right on my recent list. And this is Rolling Realms by Stonemaier Games. I was actually a little surprised that this one was ranked below both of my next two. Not necessarily one of them, maybe not, but I was a little surprised this one was this low. And in Rolling Realms, you have different realms that are based on different games. So, like this example is Tapestry, The Society, which is Red Rising, and Pendulum, all Stonemaier games. And so there are what you're doing is you're rolling two dice and you're placing numbers on these cards to try and earn stars. As you do this, you're also earning some pumpkins and coins and hearts that help you make more dice, manipulate dice, change the dice, copy the dice, and do some different things. Each card mirrors the game it's coming from in different ways. So that's really interesting that they've been able to kind of condense part of games down into these very small things. So, like the Tapestry one is your capital map. The Society is your cards. Pendulum, I've never played, but I know that there's some timers that you are flipping. So it's mimicking the timers. So there are like at this point there are like 64 different realms. And what you do is you play 3 rounds, and each round you play with 3 cards. So you have an infinite number of possibilities of what you might be doing over a 3 round game. And so it started off as a print and play during COVID that was just the 11 Stonemaier games. Since then, there have been 9 new Stonemaier games, a couple other extra games. There was one based on Jamie Stegmaier's Cats, and there's another one that was just based on the solo mode in the original Rolling Realms. Then there was a brand new Rolling Realms Redux, which had 12 brand new realms that all came together. And then they have released all sorts of other promo realms from games that are not Stonemaier games. There's a solo mini expansion called Beyond the Realmiverse, which is a 4 stage like campaign. There's a new solo mode in Redux that is based on like soccer league and relegation in soccer leagues. And so this one has just so much replayability. It is one of my most played games. I absolutely love it. It is so much fun trying to figure out like the best way to um, synergize the different realms with the dice you're rolling. So that is Rolling Realms. And my next one, and I would say that one I play solo only on the tabletop, but I have joined Jimmy's live streams that he does monthly quite a bit. But as far as I'm just playing by myself here. My next one is a 2-player only game, and this is one that I don't hear talked about very much, but we really enjoy this one. And this is from Dr. Finn's Games, and this is Naga Parbat. In Naga Parbat, you are collecting animals off of these 6 different mountain areas. As you're making different sets, you are also trying to put your cubes up in the upper left of the main board to earn different points based on if you're camping. So what you're doing is you are taking an animal. When you take that animal, you move the yellow Sherpa to that little mountain range. So like if I were to, so there's 6 different little tiny little pyramids, just tiny little triangles in this. So when you take an animal off it, you move him to the corresponding one, and the next person has to take an animal off there. When you're taking the animals off, you are placing your hikers down. When you have a certain number of hikers, if you want, you can place camps. And then the more camps you have, then you can put your cubes up top and earn some points. You also earn points. I don't remember what the other. I know there's camps and there's a couple other things, and I can't remember exactly what else you are putting points for up top. But then when you're at earning different, or when you're getting different animals, you can get some abilities for those as well. So some of them allow you to move some animals around. They might allow you to move the Sherpa somewhere else. They may allow you to move two of your pieces, or switch some pieces around. Some can be used as a wild. Oh, if you get a certain number of an animal, I think you can get you can get some points as well. So this is a really fun game. I don't know. There's just something about it that makes it really fun. It's really easy to set up. You just randomly place the animals on each one of those little triangles. I don't know. There's just something about it that is just really fun. Where like okay, I need to move over here, because you're always trying to figure out like where the other person kind of is got their people, because like, well, maybe I can force them to go over there because I need something from over there. Is there a way that I can get them to move the Sherpa to the spot that I need, so that I can get into a thing by maybe enticing them to take a certain animal or something, because they're making a set. But yeah, that is Nanga Parbat, and that is just a really fun game.
And you have to set up your tents, and setting up your tents.
Yeah, so when you have your hikers connected, you can take them off and put your tents down. That's one of the ways you can earn your points.
I like that game as well. And so my next recommendation is Keep It 100. This is a party game that plays up to 8 different players. And basically, you are trying to answer trivia questions for the most part, but it's kind of like the Family Feud, where they say, out of 100 people, how many people do this or don't do this, whatever the question is. And so you are trying to put your card in order in the line from, I believe it's 1 to 100.
You have like 2 starter numbers, and then everything has to go
Yeah,
from there.
and
I
then you
believe,
work
whatever it
around
is.
those different numbers. And you're just trying to correctly put your cards in the survey and line them up. And it sounds a lot easier than what it really is.
We are so bad at this.
We're terrible at this game, because not everybody thinks like I do. And
No.
so when you get your question and you're asked the question, and let's pretend it says, out of 100 young men, how many boys in 5th grade wear deodorant? And like, I don't know. I'm going to say 99 out of 100, but it's really only 7. And so you're like, huh, really? Okay.
I teach 5th grade. I would not be surprised if
Yes.
it's that. I'd be surprised if it's that hyper.
But yes, so this is just a silly, fun party game. And
we play the cooperative. Is this the one we play the cooperative mode on?
I think so.
We play
There's
cooperative.
a couple modes.
Yeah, there's a couple modes, and so you can play cooperative. So we just play this cooperative, and we try and figure out, like, I don't know. And sometimes one of us is like, I really think it's here. Okay, let's put it there. Sometimes you're like, I just don't know. So the cards, I think they started with the 50 and the 75. And then your cards are have a thing on them, and you're just like, okay, where is this gonna go? Okay, maybe it's gonna go here, and then you flip it over, you're like, oh, it's not even close to being there.
Sometimes you're embarrassed about how far off you are, because you just can't believe that people think that way or do things that way they do, and you're just like, wow, okay.
So the 2 and the 28 have already been placed, and they're trying to place that middle card that has the little person on it and the words above it. They're trying to place that one in. Whatever the clue is, they believe that it is between 28 and 50 people. So that is where they're going to place it, and then what they do is they flip it over to see if they're correct. And then if you get a certain number wrong, in the cooperative mode, you get a certain number wrong and you're out. Or you have to get a certain number. If you don't get a certain number, you to win, then you're just done. And we very rarely
I don't
get
think we
even
finished.
close. I think we've maybe finished once, but we very rarely get even close to doing this. So
I'm ashamed. But it's fun. I
it's
highly
fun and
recommend
silly.
it.
It's fun and silly. All right. My next one is another action right. This is a roll and write, and this was number 6 on my recent roll and write top 10, and or my recent overall verb and write. And this one is all about Jurassic Park. Well, not really. It's Dinosaur Island, Roar and Write by Pandasaurus Games. It is about putting dinosaurs into a dinosaur park. And so, what you are doing in the solo game, you are rolling 6 dice, and then you are placing them in a column, and the AI will have a deck of cards, and the AI will then you'll flip over the deck, and they will take 2 of the cards and place them on the board up in the top, in 2 spots. Whether it's to make dinosaurs, it's to earn money, it's to double one of your thing, it's to build things, and then you have some goals over here on the right, and you have some extra attractions you might want to build, and some extra um, people you might be able to hire. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build out the best park by putting in different dinosaur types, connecting them, giving tours, um, putting some rides in, putting some shops in, putting some food in. You are collecting DNA so that you can make more dinosaurs to put into your parks. Once you put a pen in, you can put up to 4 dinosaurs in that pen, and you're just trying to earn the most points while also staying away from the danger, because different dinosaur types have different danger. The herbivores, they are the least exciting, but they also have no danger. The small carnivores, they're a little bit more exciting, but they have a little bit of danger with them. Like they have a 2 on the excitement, so you can move across your excitement track. But there's also 1 danger, so you need to make sure you have security to take care of that danger. If you go to the large carnivores like Tyrannosaurus rexes, those are obviously the most exciting things to see. So you get to move across your excitement track a lot, but they also have the highest threat level, and you have to put 2 threat in there, so you need to make sure you are alleviating those with security so that the security can take care of the threat. Each round you will do this, and then so you do one where you roll the dice, the AI takes a couple, you take 2, you get the things, and then you get a third one. Then the second phase of it is you are placing them up top to do the different things like making dinosaurs, or like I said, you might be able to double one of your dice, which if you can get that with the coins, that's really powerful, because if you can get a lot of extra coins, you can build extra things, or you can just earn some money, or you can build roads or other attractions. And then when you do that twice, and then you run your park. So you go through your whole park. You get different things as you're going through it, depending on which people you hired, and then in which extra buildings you've built, and then you give a tour from the start spot as far as you can go to try and connect it to one of the exits, which gives you different point values. I just really like this one. When I first got into solo gaming, I played this one a lot, and it's kind of gone down on my list a little bit because after so many plays, it does feel very samey. There's nothing really different about it. I'm doing the exact same thing. It's not like some other ones where you have some different things in it. Yeah, you might you might have some different people you might be able to hire, and you might be able to build some different buildings, but it's really the same thing. So it has dropped a little bit, but it was still number 6 on my overall action rights. That is Dinosaur Island Roar and Write. My next one is a game that I've only played multiplayer. I don't see the need to play this one solo. I might try it solo. I did print off a solo variant for it. This is another one that has some see-through clear cards, and this is Canvas by Road to Infamy. Although our version, because we have the older version, is Road to Infamy, but they have recently sold the rights of this to Tabletop Tycoon, I believe it is, who are the people who bring us Everdell and stuff. So it will no longer be Road to Infamy. So in Canvas, this is all about making the best art. This board comes with the Reflections expansion, and it is the one that we play with even in the base game, so that you have a little bit more variety. Basically, what you are doing is you are trying to draft cards that are going to stack on top of each other so that you can see through them. Um, when you want to make a painting, you put them in a sleeve, and you can see there's different little paint palette type things, or paint swatches that will give you some different bonuses. There's a bunch of different bonuses in the top of the board that you are trying to get, whether it's two of one color, two of another, or each one of the paint swatches represents something different, like texture and balance and color and different things. And this is one of those games that, while it's nice to win, it's also nice just to make the prettiest um, pictures. And I hear a lot of people talking about this one, as far as I don't even care because I want my picture to look nice. And each one of the pictures is titled, so some of them have the first part of the name, some of them have the second part of the name, and you're putting 3 cards together to make a picture. So as soon as you have 3 cards, you are able to make a picture. I also like this game because of the fact that you're making 3 paintings, but the game doesn't end when someone makes 3 paintings. Everybody gets to make their 3 paintings. It's just some people might do it a little quicker because you can get up to 5 cards in your hand. Once you have 5 cards, you are required to make a painting because you can only have 5 in your hand at a time. But if I have 3 cards, if my first 3 cards synergize nicely and I'm going to get some good bonuses, I can make it. Stacy might be going for 5 cards, so she has a little more variety. And then now, because she's taken 2 more rounds to make her first one, now I'm, taking more cards. I'm going towards my second painting, but it doesn't matter because both people get to make their 3 paintings. And then you have to, normally you will take the first card in the rows, but for every row, every column you go over in the row, you need to put a paint palette on there for the card. So if you want the second card, and when you're playing the base game, there's only 1 row of cards. With the bigger board, there's 2 rows of cards. You need to put a paint palette on the top and bottom row. If you later take that card, or someone takes a card, they get that paint palette. You have a certain number of them, but it does give you a little bit of onus to be able to get some extra things that are a little bit further down. Sometimes you'd be looking for one, you'd be like, okay, I think I can wait 1 more round. So there's almost a little push your luck in because you're like, I really need that one. I think I can wait 1 more round before I have to take it, so I don't have to spend as much to try and get it. But inevitably, I always take the one she wants, and she always takes the one I'm looking at. So, and I'm sure that probably happens quite often. So that is Canvas by Road to Infamy. Now I believe Tabletop Tycoon.
And I play that game to win. I don't. I always play to win. It doesn't matter the game. So my next recommendation.
She wants her stuff to look pretty too. So don't.
Sometimes. My next recommendation is Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest by Tin Robot Games. In Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest, this is a push your luck and a little bit of take that involved in it. You're trying to collect your resources and you're getting ready for winter as the little squirrels are collecting their acorns as they move up and down the branches. You have 3 actions each turn. Oh, excuse me. Um, you have 3 actions each turn. You start in the nest in the middle of the board there, or in the middle of the tree branches is what they're called, and you can move 3 times. You can on that 3 moves, you can either move out of the nest, you can flip a card, you can just move 3 times. You can choose to just stay on a card and not flip it until the next time. And as you're flipping cards, you are revealing what's below them. And you could reveal golden acorns. You could reveal just, 1, 2, or 3 acorns. You could reveal a power card, which could allow you sometimes to not have to pay to go over broken branches. It could allow you to swing from one branch over to another branch. It could allow you powers to go back to the middle or stash your goods. So there's different powers that you can use, and there's some that you can give the other players to take their acorns away from them as well. So you have to be careful of that aspect of the game as well.
Or as in the one game when we played, and I had a bunch of golden acorns that you need to get 20 points. The golden acorns are worth 5. And in the one game that we played, I had 3 golden acorns like stashed, so like they can't be stolen, they can't be lost. And 3 times I drew the card that forces you to turn all of your golden acorns into regular acorns. So I went from 15 points to 3 points, and I was like, really? Like all of them? Like in one game, I was like, okay. And all of a sudden, I was like very close to winning. To Stacey kicked my butt.
Yes, it was fun. But you can carry up to 3 special cards at a time, and as you're going up and down the branches, if the branch breaks, you have to go back to the center or go back to the nest. And I hate when it tells you that you have to lose your acorns. That just really bothers me. But you can stash your acorns, you can move them into the nest. You can get special cards to store extra acorns if you
Get
so
a
choose. Get
backpack
that
to throw them
backpack
in.
to throw them in. The game ends when the first player stashes 20 acorns, or you get 20 points.
20 points, yeah.
Or if there's no cards left in the deck,
Yeah.
can also end the game as well. So, those little squirrels.
The player boards are so cute because they have 6 different acorns that each have their own little personality. You can you're and then they're dual layers, so you're putting the acorns in their cheeks to take them back, so to stash them, and then you like to take them back to the trunk, and then you stash them down below. So
spit them out and put them in their nest, and then they go to the stash area.
So it's very thematic. It's a lot of fun.
The artwork is really cute in this one as well. So that is Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest.
Just a small title. Just a short title. All
the
right.
setup on that one's kind of a pain in the butt, but
it is. Fun. The cards are a little small, and you got to put 6, branches out. 5 on each branch, and there's 6 branches. But yeah, no, it's a fun one. That is a lot of fun. My next one is another solo Verban Right, and this is the crunchiest one on my list. And this one comes from Garfield Games, and this is Hadrian's Wall. Hadrian's Wall is a game where you are trying to stop the barbarians, I think it is, from coming past your wall. You're flipping over a card. You're gaining different workers of different types, along with also some stones to help make your wall and different things. And this one, you can get some serious combos going. Sorry. So you have 2 pads of paper. The right pad has your citizens and some different things over there that you can do. The left side is where you're building everything. I'll be honest, and I've not played through the campaign that they put out. But other than using the citizen track, I tend to, even if I tell myself I'm not going to, I tend to ignore pretty much almost anything over on the right side. So that's where this game was number 5 on my Verban Rights, and I think that's the reason why is I can't get out of just ignoring all that stuff and can't get in my head why I want to use that things, because the goal is to get your wall built, and building my wall keeps the attacks from coming in, and that's all on the left pad. So that's where my brain kind of goes with this game, as far as like I don't see, I can't wrap my head around the right side and doing a lot of stuff on there, because that doesn't help me build my wall. And so I do like this game. It is a lot of fun. I've also played it on BGA with some friends. But this one was number 5, like I said, on my Verban Rights. So it is still pretty high on my overall Verban Rights. It is much crunchier. The combos are amazing in it that you can do. But yeah, for some reason, my brain just is like, why would I want it? Why do I need to do any of this stuff over on the right side? Because it doesn't help me build my wall. Now, like I said, I've not tried the campaign they've put out. I've printed it off like 2 or 3 times and have not tried it. I've heard that if you do play it with the campaign, it does force you to do some of the other things. So I might do that one of these days. But I also just like playing it on BGA because it tells you where you can go and is much quicker than setting everything up and things. But yeah, so that is Hadrian's Wall. And yes,
What's the difference between a verb and right and an action right?
nothing.
Oh,
Some people call them X and right, some people call them verb and rights. Flipping
okay.
right, flipping right, rolling right, drafting right.
They're all the same thing?
They're all the thing. Some people say verb because you're rolling, flipping, and drafting, which are actions. So
Okay.
action right, yeah.
I thought I was missing out on something.
No, verb and right, action right are the same thing. Some people just shorten it to X, some say verb. So I
Sorry.
say them
Continue.
interchangeably. No, that was a good question. All right, for the non-gamers out there,
Yeah.
Oh. My final recommendation is a highly rated game. It is one of our favorite games to play. It is my favorite from this line of games. It is a tile laying game all about nature, and this is Cascadia by Flat Out Games. Flat Out Games does make a lot of games we really really enjoy. This is my favorite one. I love this game. I've taught it to kids at my board game club at school. Basically, in Cascadia, you are doing some intertwined drafting between a habitat tile and an animal token. You are trying to get your habitats connected as much as possible, because you will score at the end of the game for your largest area of each habitat. And then whoever has the most will also score some bonus points. And then you are also trying to score one of or the 5 different animals: the foxes, the hawks, the salmon, the bear, and the deer,
Elk.
and or elk, and each one of them scores differently. So the salmon cards usually have some sort of like run of salmon. The hawks usually can't be next to each other, but they have to be within sight of each other. But there needs to be something like in between them. The foxes usually need to be around other things. The bears usually need to be in groups, and then the elk score all sorts of different ways. So each one, and there's a ton of different cards. And if you get the landmarks expansion, it adds more. I think there's five scoring, 5 or 6 scoring, probably six because there's two-sided. I think six in the base game, and I think there's four more in the expansion. I really like this intertwined drafting. If you place a token on what is called a keystone tile, you get a little acorn, and you can use that to kind of break the rules. So you could take a tile and a token that are not lined up with each other. If there's ever 3 tokens that are exactly the same, you can choose if you want to discard those 3 out of the game and draw a new and draw 3 new ones. If there's 4 of the exact same, you are required to discard all 4 of them and draw new ones. I'm guessing this is a solo game that is being played in this picture. And those are all the tokens that were taken away. So in the solo game, you always discard the rightmost uh, tile and token. I don't know. I just really like this game. This one, it's just a lot of fun. It's pretty calming. Because there's no real time. There's no constricted workspace. But yeah, so that is Cascadia. That is a highly rated game on BGA as well.
And my final recommendation is also my favorite out of my group. But I'm not going to say that because I'm not supposed to have favorites. These are in alphabetical order for a reason.
Oh, this is her favorite.
It is my favorite. And that is Summer Camp by Buffalo Games. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this game. And this is a great game. There are so many different ways to play it because of the variety of the cards that are inside. But with Summer Camp, it's a deck building game, and you're also racing to the finish. Um, and you are seeing which players will earn merit badges and collect the most experience points to win. Each player has their own deck of cards, and you are deck building by drawing different activities depending on which cards that you're playing with, because you can choose out of 7 different decks. I think
Yeah,
it is.
7 different activities. There's 7 different activities. Well,
right
there's
there.
7 activities there, and then you have your base ones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a great picture. Whoever took that, good job, user. But anywho, so each one plays with their own deck, and you're building it up so that you can get the numbers to be able to move across your path. And see, this is where my brain always goes blankety blank blank, is towards the win or towards the end. Oh my gosh, to win.
It's been a long
It's
week.
been a very long week. To win, players have to earn the most camp experience points, and the points that are gained by claiming merit badges or moving your pawn along the path, and you also buy cards along the way as well. You have to have a strategy of some sort to outplay the other players that are going to summer camp with you. Sounds kind of mean, but I always want to win.
You want to
So
win those? You want those merit badges?
yeah, you really want your as many merit badges as you can get, and as many what are those little granola bars? You
Yeah.
can use granola bars to get some energy so that you can do better and get more merit badges or move further along the path. But the first person to get across the path, oh my gosh, they can't see me. I don't know why I point. First person to get across the path and end up on the other side with both of their players wins. No, you have to add up your points. Oh my gosh. So depending on if you come in first, second, or third, is how many points you get for finishing at that point. And then you add up all your points at the end with all of your cards and your special bonuses, and the person with the highest score wins. But you have so many activities that you can do with this. You can go swimming, you can go canoeing, you can make s'mores, crafts. You can make friendship bracelets, and this you can even share so that it's actually a nice game instead of a take that game.
Yeah.
You can actually you can take 3 cards, and the other you can choose a person to take like 1 card or 2 cards. So you help your friends along the way as well. So
Yeah, if you want like a gateway-ish deck building game that has a ton of replayability, this is a great one. Um, First of all, the 3x3 grid of path tiles, those are all individual. You put those out, and they're going to be a different every time. And then the 7 different activities, you're only choosing 3 of them every game, so there's a lot of different variety in what you can have. They did an amazing job. The designer of this did an amazing job at theming those activities because your cards, you have your basic cards, which is like move 1, move 2, move 3 in each activity pack, and those are themed after whatever it is, like outdoor sport, water sports, whatever it is. Um, but then it's the extra specialty cards in there. They're like, oh, friendship. Oh, look, they get something, you get something. Or there's something that gives you some energy. Or like each one of them, when you look at what the cards are and what they do for you, you just go, wow, this just works. It is themed so well. So yeah, that is a game that is not going to leave our collection.
no.
When we end up getting rid of a bunch of games, that is going to be one that stays because that one is it's pretty easy to set up. It's easy to play. It's just a lot of fun.
Each collection of cards, each activity at the summer camp comes in its own box, so it's easy to keep them sorted.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of cards involved in it. So for setup, it might be a little difficult for some people. I still have to look at the book and see where everything goes.
Oh, I usually do too with anything I set up.
Yeah. But it's just a good family game. It's good for non-gamer gamers. I think it's good for mid-weight gamers as well. And maybe even, somebody who is a little heavier gamer who wants to play with some lightweight gamers might enjoy it as well.
My kids at the board game club like this one too. I've got this there.
Oh, I thought you took our copy.
Well, no, remember that's why. So we had this on our shelf for quite some time, and then I got it.
2 years.
I got it. It was like a year, and then I started up my board game club, and I'm like, oh, let's learn this so I can teach it to the kids, and we learned it. Went, oh my god, we love this game. Like this game is something we really really enjoy. So, and then the kids really enjoy this one too. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. There are 15 recommendations from 2021. Funny thing, when we were making this list, I always go on to BG Stats and I sort the games by their year. And then we were looking them up and we realized several of them on BGG, their year has changed and they weren't updated on BG Stats until I went in and actually manually updated each one. So we had some other games that were like, Oh wait, that one's not on this list. We actually both had to take a game off our list that you'll be hearing
Next time.
possibly in the next couple weeks.
We'll see.
If they make those lists. So yeah, so these are just some good recommendations for you guys. Like I said, I had 5 solo, 5 that I played multiplayer normally, and ones that I prefer multiplayer. And Stacey's 5 for non gamers. Um, yeah, what do we got coming up? We got I'll have some sort of solo stuff Monday. I have role players set up. I've been kind of trying to get a little bit of content for that. Next week we'll have a playthrough of some sort.
Timber camp.
Oh, we could set that up and play because next week we're not live.
Oh.
So we could set up something for next Wednesday. Next week we'll have our 2022 games. We'll have some sort of review on Monday as well. It might be of a full game or it might be a new mini review series we're gonna start up. So
we're starting a new series.
The quick reviews.
Oh.
So we'll review a couple games quickly instead of the full on initial impressions.
I just show up and do what I'm told.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Let us know in the comments what your favorite games from 2021 are, and we'll see if some of them look interesting, and we'll check them out. Once again, this has been Where There's a Will,
There's a Play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we'll see you next time
at the table.